the glittering intersection of high culture, massive wealth, and elite athleticism has always captivated the global audience. But every so often, a phenomenon emerges that completely shifts our understanding of modern celebrity culture. As the world turns its collective gaze toward the grand spectacles of the international stage, where history is written in sweat and determination, an unexpected narrative begins to unfold far away from the chalk lines of the stadium. True icons do not merely exist within the boundaries of their respective professions. They transcend them, commanding attention with every calculated movement, every public and every stylistic choice they display to the watching world. This captivating allure is exactly what fuels the contemporary media landscape, keeping millions of spectators permanently glued to their screens as they eagerly await the next chapter in the lives of their favorite figures. To truly appreciate this unfolding story, and to ensure you never miss a single detail of these larger-than-life journeys as they continue to develop across the globe, take a quick moment right now to subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications. By joining our growing community, you will always remain at the absolute forefront of the most exclusive updates, deep dives, and captivating stories that define our cultural zeitgeist, delivered directly to you the very second they break. The atmosphere surrounding major international tournaments is always thick with an almost unbearable tension, a heavy mixture of nervous anticipation and intense national pride that builds for years before the first whistle blows. Fans gather in their millions, transforming host cities into vibrant tapestries of color, chant, and shared emotion, all united by the simple hope of witnessing something truly extraordinary. Yet, in the modern era, the spectacle begins long before the main events actually commence, starting the exact moment these global icons step off their private transports and into the flashing lights of the waiting paparazzi. Every single garment worn, every accessory chosen, and even the subtle body language exhibited by these individuals is meticulously analyzed by experts and enthusiasts alike, searching for hidden meanings or declarations of intent. It is a highly theatrical world where fashion serves as the ultimate pre-game armor, a silent but incredibly loud statement of supreme confidence and unparalleled status that sets the tone for everything that is about to follow. Within this hyper-visible environment, one specific figure has managed to completely steal the spotlight, captivating both the sporting community and the notoriously exclusive inner circles of high-end luxury fashion in a way that feels entirely unprecedented. This individual possesses a natural magnetism that commands the attention of cameras wherever he goes, carrying himself with a relaxed nonchalance that sharply contrasts with the fierce, almost robotic intensity he displays when performing his professional duties. While the general public expected the headlines to be entirely dominated by tactical breakdowns, physical statistics, and performance predictions, the conversation has instead taken a fascinatingly glamorous detour into the realm of ultra-luxury. The world is watching an elite performer who refuses to be confined to a single box, effortlessly bridging the massive gap between rugged physical dominance and the highly sophisticated, incredibly selective world of top-tier Parisian craftsmanship. This unfolding fascination centers around an extraordinary, rapidly expanding collection of artifact-level items that represent the absolute pinnacle of artisanal leatherwork. Objects so rare and wildly expensive that they are typically reserved for the world's most elite fashion collectors and billionaires. As this prominent figure travels across continents, moving effortlessly through bustling international terminals, luxury hotels, and exclusive media lounges, these stunning pieces are always right by his side, serving as a constant visual testament to an astronomical level of personal success. It is not just the sheer monetary value of these items that has caused such an immense stir across social media platforms and traditional news outlets alike, but rather the bold, unapologetic nature of the display itself. In a world where many public figures opt for safe, traditional symbols of luxury like sports cars or diamond-encrusted timepieces, this choice represents a major cultural shift, blending classic European heritage with a highly contemporary, gender-fluid approach to personal style. The online community was among the first to fully sound the alarm on this developing trend, with dedicated fashion archivists and sharp-eyed commentators quickly documenting every single public appearance and meticulously breaking down the exact specifications of each piece. One prominent lifestyle account perfectly captured the rapidly rising hysteria and widespread fascination of the public by issuing a playful yet highly descriptive warning to its massive following, telling them to buckle up because what they were about to witness was nothing short of a historic masterclass in elite curation. This digital spark instantly ignited a massive wave of global curiosity, sending search engine trends skyrocketing as everyday fans and seasoned fashion critics alike scrambled to discover more details about these oversized, custom-made masterpieces that seem to appear in a different variation with every passing week. The sheer scale of the reaction highlights a broader cultural truth about our modern society, where the off-field personas of our most celebrated heroes often become just as influential, if not more so, than their actual professional achievements. As the summer sun beats down and the global excitement reaches an absolute fever pitch, this captivating parallel story continues to grow, adding a thick layer of undeniable intrigue and high-stakes glamour to an already historic season. The mystery lies not just in what has already been revealed to the public, but in the anticipation of what might possibly come next, as each new destination seems to promise an entirely fresh aesthetic revelation that keeps the entire industry guessing. It is a brilliant display of modern showmanship, an elegant dance between personal branding and genuine passion for the finest things that life has to offer, proving that the true masters of the spotlight know exactly how to dominate the conversation without ever having to say a single word. The stage is perfectly set, the world is watching with bated breath, and the fascinating convergence of world-class athleticism and the ultimate symbols of elite luxury is about to reveal its true, dazzling depth. Now that we have established the sheer scale of the phenomenon, it is time to look at the objects themselves, which are truly the protagonists of this developing story. The collection that Erling Haaland has brought into the public eye is not merely a selection of expensive travel accessories. It is a meticulously curated exhibition of some of the most difficult-to-procure items in the entire world of luxury fashion. At the very heart of this collection sits the haut courroie, or the hack, a design that traces its roots back to the very origins of the House of Hermès as a harness and saddle manufacturer in the 19th century. The HE was originally crafted to hold equestrian gear, specifically riding boots and saddles, which explains its characteristic structural integrity and its imposing oversized proportions. When Haaland chooses to travel with a black multipocket HAC 50, he is not just carrying a bag, he is carrying a piece of history that has been transformed into an ultimate status symbol. The price tag of nearly $70,000 for such a piece reflects not only the premium materials and the hundreds of hours of painstaking artisanal labor required to create it, but also the extreme scarcity that defines the Hermès secondary market. These are not items one can simply walk into a boutique and purchase off the shelf. Regardless of one's fame or net worth, acquiring them requires deep, long-standing relationships with the brand, a reputation for being a serious collector, and an immense amount of patience in navigating the brand's notorious, almost impenetrable waitlist system. This reality makes the collection even more impressive, as it suggests a level of access that typically eludes even the most prominent public figures. Another standout piece that has captured the attention of fashion critics and enthusiasts is the Endless Road 50, a limited edition style that is a masterclass in leather marquetry. This particular bag, with its whimsical yet sophisticated depiction of winding mountains and highways, represents the playful side of high-end luxury. It is a bold stylistic choice, one that speaks to a wearer who is confident enough to carry something that is visibly artistic rather than just a standard minimalist staple. When Haaland was spotted touching down in the United States, this bag was effectively his calling card, serving as a silent announcement that he was not only prepared for the high-pressure environment of the tournament, but also fully integrated into the global cultural conversation that transcends the limits of the pitch. The sight of a world-class athlete carrying such a complex artisanal item while surrounded by security and media is a jarring, albeit fascinating, juxtaposition that challenges our preconceived notions about the aesthetics of masculinity. The collection further includes the Evercraft Toil Cargo Hack 40, a piece that blends utility with pure, unadulterated opulence. With a market value hovering around $50,000, this bag serves as a functional masterpiece, featuring multiple pockets that underscore its design as a piece meant for travel and movement. It is this specific intersection of utilitarian functionality and extreme luxury that seems to resonate so deeply with the modern celebrity. It allows the owner to signal their status while maintaining a veneer of practicality, a trend that has become increasingly prevalent among the global elite who demand that their status symbols work as hard as they do. The public tally of his collection, which has been documented by dedicated fashion archivists to include at least 7 distinct styles with a combined valuation exceeding $300,000, has sparked a firestorm of discussion across social media. One viral comment, asking if the world was prepared for this level of curation, hit upon a core truth: we are witnessing a transition in how elite male athletes choose to project their identities, moving away from the conventional markers of wealth and toward the more nuanced, insider-coded language of haute couture. The tension surrounding these items is palpable because they represent a departure from the traditional sports star aesthetic that dominated the previous 2 decades. For years, the markers of success for professional athletes were relatively predictable: flashy sports cars, elaborate watches, and designer streetwear that shouted its brand identity through bold logos and prints. The pivot to Hermès, and specifically to the most reserved, classic, and rare styles of the Birkin, signals a move toward a form of quiet luxury that is actually quite loud in its own right. It is loud because it is exclusionary. Those who know exactly what that bag signifies, and those who do not simply see a large, high-quality leather accessory. This duality is the hallmark of the new elite fashion standard. It is not about accessibility. It is about signaling membership in a very small, very exclusive club that operates by rules entirely different from the rest of the world. By embracing this, the athletes are positioning themselves alongside the most influential figures in fashion, music, and cinema, effectively removing themselves from the narrow confines of their sport and entering the broader, more influential sphere of global celebrity culture. This shift is not occurring in a vacuum, as Haaland is merely the latest, albeit the most visible, participant in a broader movement that has been gaining momentum for several years. Icons like David Beckham, who has long been a pioneer in blurring the lines between sports and fashion, and NFL star Stefon, known for his eccentric and high-fashion red carpet looks, have both played significant roles in validating the high-end handbag as a staple for the modern man. Their influence has been crucial in stripping away the lingering, antiquated stigmas that once suggested such accessories were exclusively for women, thereby opening the door for a more fluid and inclusive approach to men's style. When David Beckham is seen with a Birkin, it is viewed as a natural extension of his long-standing relationship with luxury brands. When Haaland does it, it feels like a younger, more aggressive claim to cultural dominance. It is a statement that says the old barriers, geographic, professional, and gendered, are effectively crumbling, and that the new generation of global heroes will define their success on their own terms. We must also consider the influence of pop culture figures who have long championed this style, such as Kylie Jenner, whose extensive and highly publicized collection has set the bar for what a world-class Birkin wardrobe looks like. When Jenner is spotted at a high-profile event like an NBA playoff game, carrying a rare crocodile Birkin in a specific eye-catching color, it sends a ripple effect through the fashion industry, influencing trends and elevating the perceived value of these items even further. There is a competitive element to this, a desire to own the rarest colorways, the most exotic leathers, and the most limited edition artistic designs. It creates an ecosystem where the bag is no longer just an accessory, but a trophy in its own right, perhaps even more difficult to win than the ones awarded on the playing field. This shared language of luxury connects individuals from vastly different worlds, creating a common ground where a billionaire reality television star and a professional athlete can bond over the rarity of a specific stitching technique or the quality of a particular leather hide. The reaction from the public and the media has been a complex mixture of awe, criticism, and intense curiosity, highlighting how these items have become lightning rods for broader debates about wealth, consumption, and the role of the modern celebrity. Critics might argue that such displays of opulence are disconnected from the realities of the average fan, while supporters view them as the well-earned rewards of individuals who have reached the absolute peak of their respective fields through immense talent and sacrifice. Regardless of where one stands on the matter, the undeniable impact of these visual statements is that they force us to confront the evolving nature of celebrity and the growing influence of the fashion industry over the sporting world. We are no longer watching athletes who are merely faces for sportswear brands. We are watching style icons who are just as comfortable in the front row of a runway show as they are on the field of play. They are curating their public image with the same intensity they apply to their training regimens, understanding that in the modern era, the narrative of their life is just as critical to their legacy as their professional statistics. As the days tick down and the atmosphere continues to thicken with the weight of the upcoming challenges, these bags have become more than just leather and metal. They are symbols of confidence, ambition, and a relentless desire to exist at the very pinnacle of global success. They represent a new kind of power, one that is exercised not just through physical strength or strategic brilliance, but through the ability to command attention and define the aesthetic of an entire generation. The culmination of this extraordinary narrative brings us to the deeper significance of why this stylistic revolution matters on a global scale. We are witnessing much more than a simple display of extravagant consumerism or the passing whim of a wealthy young superstar. We are observing a profound cultural evolution in real time. The journey of these elite figures, from humble beginnings in their native countries to the pinnacle of international stardom, is characterized by a relentless drive for perfection that mirrors the very craftsmanship of the luxury houses they now patronize. To understand the true weight of this phenomenon, one must look at how these worlds have historically intersected. For decades, the sports world and the fashion world existed in largely separate spheres, with occasional crossovers that felt artificial or purely commercially driven. Today, the relationship is organic, deep-seated, and structural. The icons of the modern era do not simply wear what they are told to wear by sponsors. They actively curate, collect, and define the culture themselves, establishing their own personal legacies through a highly sophisticated understanding of heritage, rarity, and aesthetic power. This connection becomes even more fascinating when we look at the specific history of athletes navigating these exclusive fashion spaces. Figures like Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir, who famously recounted their deliberate hunt for matching white Hermès bags in Tokyo during the 2020 Olympics, paved the way for this contemporary movement. Their experience highlighted the global nature of the pursuit, showing that for true connoisseurs, the acquisition of these rare pieces is an adventure in its own right, often tied to major life milestones and historic professional moments. By documenting and sharing these journeys, they demystified the process while simultaneously elevating the object to the status of a personal trophy. For an athlete, a rare luxury item can serve as a tangible marker of a specific time and place in their career, a physical manifestation of a moment when they stood at the absolute top of the world. This is precisely why the image of a modern icon traveling with these oversized masterpieces resonates so deeply. It is a visual representation of an extraordinary journey, a testament to the heights that can be achieved when raw talent is matched with an uncompromising dedication to excellence. The choice of the Hermès brand as the ultimate expression of this status is entirely logical when one considers the shared value as of elite sports and haute couture. Both worlds are defined by an obsession with precision, an intolerance for mediocrity, and a reliance on skills that take decades to master. Just as a world-class forward spends countless hours perfecting their movement, timing, and physical conditioning to perform flawlessly under pressure, an Hermès artisan spends years learning the exact stitching techniques required to assemble a single masterpiece. There is a mutual respect between these two forms of mastery, a recognition that both represent the absolute peak of human capability in their respective domains. When an athlete carries a custom or rare piece, they are aligning themselves with that standard of excellence, signaling to the world that they appreciate and demand the very best that human hands can create. It is a powerful form of self-expression that goes far beyond words, establishing a narrative of supremacy that is understood across every cultural and geographic boundary. As the tournament reaches its thrilling conclusion and the final matches determine who will lift the ultimate professional prize, the parallel story of this luxury collection continues to captivate the public imagination. The speculation surrounding what might happen next has become a major talking point among commentators and fans alike, with many wondering how a potential victory on the grandest stage might be celebrated. In the hyper-exclusive world of high-end collecting, a major professional triumph is often accompanied by an equally historic acquisition, a piece so rare and meaningful that it forever encapsulates the glory of that specific achievement. If the ultimate victory is secured, it is highly anticipated that the celebration will involve a historic addition to the wardrobe, perhaps an exotic custom design that has never been seen in public before. This anticipation keeps the global audience locked in a state of constant fascination, proving that the modern sports spectacle is no longer just about what happens during the game, but also about the larger-than-life lifestyle that surrounds the heroes who play it. Ultimately, this phenomenon forces us to redefine our understanding of what it means to be a global icon in the 21st century. The modern superstar is a multidimensional cultural force, an individual who commands attention not just for their physical exploits, but for their intellect, their taste, and their ability to influence global trends. They have shattered the old boundaries that once sought to limit their impact, proving that they are just as capable of dominating the conversation in Paris or New York as they are on the field of play. By embracing the world of ultra-luxury fashion with such confidence and style, they have created a new blueprint for celebrity success, one that prioritizes authenticity, curation, and an uncompromising commitment to personal vision. The image of the oversized luxury bag resting on a luggage cart in a bustling international airport has become the defining visual metaphor for this new era, a symbol of a life lived at the absolute limit of success, where the world is a stage and every movement is a masterpiece of personal branding. As the lights finally begin to fade on this historic season and the teams prepare to return to their respective homes, the impact of this cultural shift will be felt for years to come. The conversation has been permanently altered, and the standards by which future generations of superstars will be judged have been raised to an entirely new level. It is no longer enough to simply perform well. The modern icon must also possess the vision and the style to capture the collective imagination of a global audience. The extraordinary collection that has taken the world by storm over the past few weeks is a vivid reminder of this new reality, a stunning